Well, hello everyone and happy Wednesday. It's digital host A.J. Wuest welcoming you back to Before the Four. Of course, the live stream where I go through some of 48's top news stories and then some before our 4 o'clock newscast, wherever you're watching Before the Four today, whether it's on Facebook, YouTube, or the 48 Now live stream. As always, thank you so much for watching and spending just a bit of your Wednesday afternoon here. Now let's begin with some breaking news out of Jones Valley. 3 people are injured in a wreck involving a dump truck this afternoon. Now witnesses told 48 that a dump truck hit a car, the driver apparently lost control, and the truck slammed into the target in Jones Valley just after 1:30 this afternoon. Now as you can see in this photo sent in by a viewer, the truck has crashed into the lounge of that target. HIMSI spokesperson Don Webster has said that a person has been taken to the hospital. The patient's condition is still being evaluated, and of course we'll continue to keep you updated on this situation as we learn more, so make sure to stick around for our evening newscast for the latest. But now let's go through the weather. The third straight first alert weather day today due to the flaming temperatures and humidity that we're all feeling here in the valley. First alert meteorologist Jeff Denoyer with what we can expect for the latter half of the week. Jeff?
Very good Wednesday afternoon. Still hot and humid out there. Not quite as hot, not quite as humid as it was the last 2 days, but still stifling. Temperatures in the low to mid 90s, and I feel like temperatures about 105 today. So maybe not the 114 we had yesterday for parts of the area, but still it's enough that when you go outside, it certainly takes a toll on you 3 days in a row where you're pushing that 105 feel like temperature, right? Some showers and storms are firing up. One downpour right just north of Decatur right now in the Tanner area. A lot of lightning with that. A few storms up to the north, and we'll keep an eye on a few opportunities for rain through the evening, though I don't think it's really all that widespread. But boy, if you can get a storm, it will really cool you back. It'll be nice. But the temperatures outside, for the most part, are in the 90s. But what do you see there in Decatur? That's an 80. And that's because Pryor Field is getting dumped on with rainfall, and that's cooled the temperature drastically in the last hour. So it can cool you off if you get a storm, but if you don't, you'll just be hot. So your feel-like temperatures obviously jaded a bit on the graphic because Decatur says 86 and Athens 89. That is thunderstorm cooled air right there. But 107 in Huntsville, 108 in Florence, and 102 in Meridianville, still pretty hot. Tonight, a few evening storms early, otherwise muggy, 70s. And then Thursday, a really good chance, high chance of rain in the afternoon. What that will do is it'll stop the heat and humidity from building excessively in the afternoon, but it'll still probably nudge 90 before the rain gets here. And the chance for rain will go up for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, while your temperatures go down. Highs will be in the low to mid 80s for both Saturday and Sunday this weekend.
And I say it every day. I know I kind of sound like a broken record sometimes, but this is some exciting stuff. First Alert Weather Extra. It gets streamed every weekday at 9:30 and, of course, weekends at 4:30 p.m. along with 10:30 a.m. on weekdays, and then weekends, as you can see on the graphic here, 8:15. Yes, it's awesome. First Alert meteorologist Jeff Denoyer will be back here tonight in the CTV Center, and he'll have all the latest that he is seeing on the radar. So you're just not going to want to miss it. Make sure to leave a comment. Let Jeff know how you're feeling today. He always has a great time with it. But again, you're just not going to want to miss Weather Extra. And speaking of the heat, in case you missed it, 48's Callie Neese spoke with a Scottsboro firefighter who says they definitely see an influx of heat-related calls. Callie Neese reports.
I am hot and I am sweaty and I haven't even been outside that long. Earlier I spoke with some roofers who told me that working outside in these conditions is miserable, but they're doing their best to keep themselves cool. I also spoke with Austin Ayers, who is a firefighter with the Scottsboro Fire Department. He said it doesn't matter what time of year it is, the gear they wear is hot, but they know how to keep themselves cool. Ayers says it's this time of year where they see an increase of heat-related emergency calls. He adds that it's not just people who work outside who are affected by this heat. He says anybody can suffer from heat exhaustion or heat stroke.
Heat exhaustion, you're going to see excessive sweating, nausea, vomiting, that can be faint or dizzy. And that's not so much as an emergency as it is a sign to, hydrate, take a break. Whereas heat stroke, you're going to see a cessation of sweating. The individual could faint or collapse, and their heart is going to be beating a lot faster.
Ayers recommends that people take breaks about every 15 minutes to get out of the sun, and not only to take care of yourself, but others too.
Just be aware of everybody you're working with and any changes you might see with them, because sometimes things aren't apparent to the individual themselves.
Ayers told me that the key is hydration, and that if there is a change in consciousness, that is your sign to call 911. Reporting in Scottsboro, Callie Neese, 48 News, on your side.
And now moving out to Hazel Green, where a man has been arrested and charged with sexual abuse after pretending to work for pest control. Now, authorities with the Madison County Sheriff's Office say today deputies responded to a home following a report of a sexual assault in progress involving a minor. The investigation revealed that the suspect, identified as 25-year-old Randy Almanzar, approached the home under the pretense of selling pest control services. After requesting to use the restroom, he was permitted entry into the home by the minor. While inside, officers say Almanzar sexually assaulted the victim before leaving the home. Deputies and detectives acted quickly to identify and locate Almanzar. He was taken into custody and interviewed by sheriff's detectives. Following the interview, Almanzar was arrested and charged with first-degree sexual abuse. He was taken to the Madison County Jail, and authorities say this investigation remains ongoing. And now, an update to the case for missing Huntsville realtor Ronald Dumas Jr., a woman who Huntsville police is calling a key suspect in the abduction of Dumas is now in the process of getting extradited to the Rocket City. Dumas Jr. was last seen at a liquor store on University Drive on December 15th. Now, Kiera Clark was taken into custody along with Quintarius White earlier this year. White remains behind bars. Clark is facing a slew of charges such as aggravated kidnapping, trafficking for a commercial sex act, assault, aggravated burglary, and more. And we'll continue to keep you updated on this case as we receive more information. But now we are going to take a quick break, but coming up, how your taxes might be changing now with the big beautiful bill signed into law. And in a bit of more national news, meat prices on the rise. It's all ahead. I'll be right back in 1 minute. All right, well, hello everyone and welcome back to Before the Four. Now let's talk about taxes. With the big beautiful bill now in full effect, your taxes are changing with it. 48's Nick Ballinger on what these changes mean and what they also mean. Yes.
President Trump's big, beautiful bill brings changes to everyone's favorite time of the year, tax season. Specifically, how much you can deduct from your taxes when you make charitable donations. A helpful tool often seen by Huntsville tax advisor Joseph Bearden.
When they give to it, whether they see a reduction in their tax or not. But it is always nice when we can use that to reduce your tax.
For the past 3 years, you couldn't deduct any donations if you took the standard deduction instead of itemizing. But starting in 2026, you can deduct up to $1,000 if you're single and $2,000 for married couples. And if you itemize, there's changes to your deductions too.
Say you make $100,000, the first $500 that you donate, not deductible. If you donate more than that, then the rest will be deductible.
Bearden says the standard deduction change could lead to more donations to nonprofits like the Saving Way, a local Huntsville nonprofit helping men in recovery from drug addiction like General Manager Gary Mann.
It really saved my life and it gave me purpose.
He says any increase in donations would go a long way.
We're based 100% off donations, so donations are everything to us. What some people see as stuff they would probably not want anymore that's still in good shape and good quality and stuff, we can really use that.
These changes go into effect in 2026 when you're filing your taxes for 2027. In Huntsville, Nick Ballinger, 48 News, on your side.
And staying in national news, meat prices are on the rise. WBRC's Jillian Brooks on why this is.
If you walked into Mr. P's butcher shop with $50 right now, Chris Piliteri says you could afford a nice steak dinner.
An average cut of steak is roughly, I'm spitballing, say $15. So you could get a nice steak dinner for at least 3 adults.
But it's a big difference from just a few years ago. If I walked in 5 years ago and gave you $50, what could I have gotten with that?
Double.
The price of beef has been on a steady increase. Aaron Beasley with the Alabama Cattlemen's Association says they are seeing the tightest cattle supply they have had in over a decade.
Couple that with inflationary factors that have to do with our input costs that we have to have on the farm to raise these animals. And then again, very strong beef demand from our consumers, which we're happy about. But you put all of those together and those factors equal that we're probably going to see an increase in prices.
However, Piliteri says seeing meat prices rise has been a constant in the industry for the last 5 years. During COVID, production lines were cut, meaning less products were being sent.
And there was a lot of items we never got back. Like if it was something difficult or not profitable or less profitable than something else they could do, they just didn't do it.
So, when will you see prices drop? Beasley says it's going to take some time.
And we will probably here in the next 12 to 18 months, maybe start to see that turn around and grow. And once that starts to happen, we will likely see those prices, start to plateau, maybe come down a little bit.
All right, and now let's head into the stories you're just not going to want to miss coming up in our evening newscast. How the city of Huntsville is celebrating America's 250th birthday. A former Madison County sheriff who passed away earlier this year is getting honored. Get that awesome story. And finally, hear from Congressman Dale Strong on the latest D.C. happenings. And hint, hint, he also speaks about Space Command. So you're just not going to want to miss it. These are just a few of the stories you're just not going to want to miss coming up in our evening newscast. And it is that time, y'all. It is time for Facebook fun. And you all had such awesome comments yesterday. We're bringing it back for a day 2. And let's see what our question was, our 48 Facebook question of the day yesterday. What movie would you choose to live in for a day? You just have one day to live in a movie. Which one would you choose? And let's see what you all had to say. I think the one I chose yesterday would probably be Harry Potter. It would be awesome to go to Hogwarts, use magic. I think I did test as a Gryffindor, but I like to think I'm a Hufflepuff as well. But let's see what you all had to say. It looks like Amanda said Fast and the Furious. Any of them with Paul Walker, and let me tell you, sometimes when I'm on these Huntsville roads, 565, it feels like I am in Fast and Furious because there are a lot of fast drivers out here. We got to take it slow, y'all. But absolutely, that would be an awesome movie to be in 100%. Thank you for commenting, Amanda. Let's see. That's what I'm talking about, Anthony. Anthony's also my first name, by the way. So we're name twins, I guess, is what the kids are saying nowadays. But Happy Gilmore, one of my all-time favorite movies. I was actually just quoting from Happy Gilmore earlier this week. And I see a new Happy Gilmore is now out, Happy Gilmore 2. I have not seen that one yet, but absolutely hanging out with Happy and Shooter McGavin, hitting the links 100%. Anthony, thank you so much for commenting. Let's see, Amanda said, Mamma Mia, here we go again. No, that's an awesome movie. I definitely enjoy Mamma Mia 100%. Amanda, thank you so much for commenting. Chatty Charity said Narnia for Narnia 100%. Aslan is one of my favorite movie characters of all time. Yes, if you haven't seen Narnia, you definitely have to see that one. And then let's see, The Wizard of Oz. That's what Tammy Camp said, and just an absolute classic movie. Yes, great comments from you all for yesterday's 48 Facebook question of the day. It always makes my day seeing y'all's comments and seeing what you all have to say. But y'all, it is 3:55. It's just about it for today's Before the Four. But I hope you all have a great rest of your night. Enjoy tonight's evening newscast. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You all have a great night.